Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining the Business Radio Network's Become a Radio Show Host webinar. We're going to get started in roughly about 30 seconds and give people a chance to join us, and then we'll get started. We want to honor everybody's time, so we're sure you have busy schedules ahead of you, so give us just a moment. We'll get started in about 10 seconds or so. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the Business Radio Network's Become a Radio Show Host webinar. You were invited here because somebody saw something special in you and feels like you would be a great radio show host. We are indeed seeking to add hosts to our roster, and we're looking for hosts that want to really build their brand, expand their network of influencers and thought leaders, and ultimately generate a potentially limitless stream of revenue. And we'll get more into that in just a moment, but first we'll do some housekeeping. We'll be here for roughly about 15 to 20 minutes with some questions in the chat box at the end. We'll get you plenty of information, and if you feel like you have additional questions or that this is something that you would like to pursue, then you'll have the opportunity to book a one-on-one conversation with one of our team members at the end of the webinar. We'll go through the information, and before the webinar is up, we'll actually open up the chat feature, and you'll have the opportunity to ask questions in the chat box, and we will get as many of these questions answered as possible. We usually have a good number of people on these webinars, so if you don't get your question answered and we don't get to it, don't worry about that. You, again, will have the opportunity to schedule a one-on-one discovery call with one of our team members at the end of the webinar. So, again, welcome to the Business Radio Network's Become a Radio Show Host webinar. The agenda for this webinar is to really accomplish 7 things or so. We'll tell you who we are, what we do, how we're different, who we help, how we can help you, how to qualify, what you can do next to get your show launched. So here we go. We are essentially a collective group of business owners, entrepreneurs, radio show executives, investors, and connectors who have a mission to bring prosperity to everyone we meet. But more specifically, Business Radio Networks will become the preeminent destination for anyone and everyone who has an interest to increase their business IQ, consume high-quality media through the production, development, marketing, and distribution of what we consider the best radio shows on the planet. We are on pace to be the #1 radio network in the world, with over 10 million podcast downloads monthly between us and our sister network. I am Jason Gary, former business consultant with Tony Robbins Business Breakthroughs. I've consulted Main Street businesses as well as multi-billion-dollar multinationals. I am the founder and CEO of Diamond Business Advisors, where we've consulted or funded over 40,000 companies. Host a nationally broadcast syndicated radio show called Big Pitch Radio, which is Shark Tank on the radio, which airs in 32 markets and can be heard by over 7.9 million people. And I am also the founder of Business Radio Networks. What we really do here at Business Radio Networks is provide a total turnkey solution. We provide an internet-driven platform and broadcast over the World Wide Web for those interested in building or augmenting their brand development by becoming a radio show host. We also produce the radio shows, providing a board operator, building out commercials, marketing your show, and doing the website development. And best of all, we actually provide a comprehensive consultation on how to turn your show into a $1 million a year opportunity. And we can attest to this because we've done it ourselves, and we have built many relationships, many businesses, many strategic partnerships, many alliances, and so we can say that this does work, and we can teach you how to do the same. In fact, we've been helping a growing number of show hosts hit their financial targets as well. The good news is that if you want to host a radio show, there are options out there. What we want to do is really go over a few of these options And through this, we are confident you'll see that there is really no option that makes more sense than doing a show right here at Business Radio Networks. Now, I, as the founder of Business Radio Networks, got my start at Blog Talk Radio, so I appreciate what they did for me when I started. But this is, for the most part, a free platform and has limitations on the number of shows. That said, the audio quality is very subpar, and so if you're looking to put out a quality product, and this is very important to you, then this will probably not be a great option. So also, if you have guests that call in, the audio quality for them is not that great as well. Terrestrial radio carries a lot of credibility. Now, I know this because I actually host a terrestrial radio show right now. That said, it is very, very expensive. It can be very cost prohibitive, costs upwards of $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and unfortunately, it is very difficult to gauge listenership. Terrestrial radio uses really two measuring sticks, Arbitron and Nielsen, and it's very difficult to drill down with these analytic tools to understand who your actual audience is. The internet radio platforms are great. We're an internet radio platform. There are about 3 to 4 internet radio platforms that provide an opportunity to host your show, but most of these have one or more downsides, whether it be audio quality, high startup expenses that can be into the thousands of dollars, no training or marketing support. So that's something you need to think about as well. And then there's podcasting software, and they're okay, but they don't really have the ability to take calls without additional equipment and a very complicated setup. And without a lot of experience and no board operator to manage the show, it can be very, very tricky, difficult, and cumbersome to put out a great show. Now, where we feel like we really differentiate ourselves is that we really address and solve all of these issues so that our dedicated show hosts can really position themselves to just go out and be the go-to experts in their field, bolster their brand, and substantially grow their business revenues. And also help others do the same. So let's start with the basic issues like sound. Our sound quality is incredible. You can hear that for yourself by going over to our website, businessradionetworks.com, and listen to some of our recently launched shows. You don't need extensive or expensive equipment. You can spend as little as $25 for a headset and microphone. Our technology allows you to do a show right from the comfort of your own home with your existing computer and internet connection. Now, having the premium audio quality ensures that the product, your show, that you put into the marketplace is really top-notch. We provide an experienced board operator to manage your show, talk to your guests, and take you in and out of commercials. Your producer will post your podcast recording and descriptions for every show. And as an added benefit to your guests, they can use these podcasts as marketing collateral should they want to do that as well. So we have a lot of our guests that do that on a regular basis, and they appreciate that, as we treat it as like a gift to them. So it's really nice. There are no setup fees to get your show started. This network is really built to help people and their businesses, not to hurt them. So we wanted to make it a low barrier to entry to do your own radio show. Although we are an internet show, with our analytic capabilities, we know how many podcast downloads each and every show on our network receives each month, so you will always know exactly how many people are hearing your message. This is a benefit that no terrestrial radio show can offer. And even though there are other internet platforms that can offer you a radio show, you have to know that we are wise enough to do our homework and determine that none of them offer a combination of no setup fees, superior audio quality, full production, training, and most importantly, the marketing of your show with predictable metrics. We also give you a business plan that shows you several ways to monetize a show, from advertisers, sponsors, and business development. And we also work with each of our hosts to provide a strategy that no other network or its shows are using to build $1 million show. We help all kinds of folks. We help authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, and businesses develop, produce, and broadcast their own radio show. Experts just like you. Now, here's how we can help you. Since we do so much of the work for you, and we really work with you, all you really have to do is show up once a week and do the show. Talk about the things that you're already talking about. You can interview others who you feel would be great interviews, or potential clients or partners. So there's a lot of opportunities there. And we even, again, like I said before, provide consultation on how to monetize your show in a very sophisticated way that goes way beyond just advertisers and sponsors. Now, we do like to qualify all of our hosts as well. Not everybody qualifies to become a host. What we're really looking for are people that have charisma, that are integrity filled, and who have a unique offering that can add value to our network. To qualify, we just ask that you do schedule a one-on-one conversation with one of our team members by clicking on the Book Me Now button that you'll see at the end of the webinar in about 5 minutes. So with that said, let's get to some questions, answer a few questions, and again, if we don't get to your question, don't worry about it. We suggest that you book time to meet with one of our consultants and get that going for you. So first question is, how much does this cost? Great question. So it's only $9.99 a month with a 6-month commitment. There's no setup fee. All we ask is that you pay the first month up front and a security deposit that is refundable with a 60-day advance notice in the event that you want to discontinue your show. Next question is, why do you ask for a 6-month commitment? Great question. There is a ton of work that goes into building out a show. The good news is that we have a lot of systems in place to make the process smooth, and the time it takes to do a show and launch a show is greatly reduced compared to other options out there. So with that said, we believe that anything that goes into building out a successful show takes a commitment to give your show a little time to develop and cultivate and to get some real traction. So we believe that with our systems, strategies, and a little time, that you would almost have to purposely sabotage your own show to not, at bare minimum, get a return on investment that you're looking for. So let's get the next question. 10.5 million downloads a month. That's a lot. How do you guys market your shows? Great question. What we do is we leverage the power of social media. In a world of social media experts on every corner, we actually have the best of the best marketing for our shows to targeted audiences. So that's one of the things that we feel we can do better than anybody else out there. Let's see. How long does it take to get a show launched? The short answer is that it all depends on the host. A lot of it depends on the host. There are very specific processes that we have in place that, if followed, can have a host and their show launched within 2 weeks. But if we don't get what we need, i.e. bios and pictures and logos and etc., it can take longer. But we aim to launch all of our shows within 1 month of the time we sign on a new host. Let's get the next question is, I've never hosted a show. Do you train your hosts? Yes. We have a whole written and consultative training program that gives you an exact blueprint, format, and platform to show you what it takes to host a show. We also offer one-on-one training as well as group training to prepare you for your first show. We have a shared platform where suggestions are made, advice is given, and new questions, ideas, tips are posted for the collective benefit to all of our hosts. So a very open environment, very caring and compassionate people that really want to help you succeed as well. So it's a really cool place to operate in. How soon, this is a great one, how soon can I make money with a radio show? you can make money before your first show. We have marketing collateral that shows how many downloads our current shows get. You theoretically could get sponsors and advertisers to support your show before you even launch. Just an FYI for everybody, I had my whole show paid for the entire year before I launched at my very first show. So just to give you a little bit of insight into what's possible, you can do it. You know, just got to have great salesmanship and tell people that we are going to be doing something special, and you can do that. Next question is, if I get an advertiser, will you produce a commercial for them? Absolutely. So we will produce up to 4 commercials per show for you or your advertisers at no additional cost. These will be produced with voiceover actors and will be professionally done just like you hear on the radio now. So we will do that for you. All right. Can I charge guests to interview them? Absolutely, yes. In fact, many shows, radio show hosts, use this as a method for generating revenue. I don't do this myself, but some do, and so I, absolutely, it's totally fine, and you can do that. So, what are the various ways to make money with a radio show? Great question. There are many, but I'll go over a couple of the obvious ones, and then even one that has actually been most profitable for us in terms of what we've done. That goes way beyond, in my estimation, what conventional ways there are to profit from a show. So you can get advertisers that take a 30 or 60-second spot on your show. You can have sponsors. You can charge more for sponsorships by offering any combination of either additional advertising on a website, an interview a month. You can position them as an expert guest, which is what we do on one of my shows. You can bookends, like this segment was brought to you by. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that. The way that we leverage the radio is we seek out those relationships that we want to develop that may normally take months or years to cultivate, with a typical approach of calling and trying to get through gatekeepers with an offering of a product or service, and simply offer a chance for that prospect, CEO, or owner to get free exposure. Once they come on the radio, almost always they ask how they can help you, which opens a door to work with them as a partner or offer them something that you could provide that will help them. So it's been very, very, very effective for us, and we want to pass that along to others and show others that strategy as well. So I think we got a lot of great questions here, guys, and we've answered most of the frequently asked questions. I'm probably missing a few, but in the interest of time, we want to get this wrapped up. If you have more questions, or you are ready to see if you qualify to host a show on our network, do me a favor and click on the Book Me Now button, and you can book a time with one of our team members to get the process started or get some more questions answered. Again, you were invited here because someone saw something special in you, and we here at Business Radio Networks have used the very same strategies we teach our hosts to build substantial business relationships and make significant revenue. So if you are interested in taking the next steps, hit the Book Me Now button and take the next steps to building your brand, gaining new customers and clients, and generating a significant income through hosting your own radio show here on Business Radio Networks. We thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope that we can build a long-lasting relationship with you, and have a phenomenal rest of your day, accomplished day. Take it easy, and bye-bye.